This video by Larry Puckett, aka the DCC guy, is pretty awesome. It shows how to wire up basic signals for turnouts on a DCC layout without any circuitry, Arduinos, anything like that whatsoever, using powered frogs. My first thought was, this is awesome. I even commented on the video. And then I thought, can I make that work for Kato Unitrack? Spoiler alert, I did. I also wanted to figure out if I could use it to send a signal to an Arduino or any other control system to show the status of the turnout. Let's get started. Before we begin, let's understand what we are doing here. We are using track power to power a signal and the turnout's orientation to change that signal. Kato Unitrack turnouts are what are known as power routing turnouts, which means they send power to whichever direction they are thrown. The outer rails are always powered, and the inner rails are either powered on or not powered depending on which way they are thrown. So one rail will be powered and one rail will not be. Now, Kato number 4 turnouts actually have the ability to change this, but they come as power routing by default. We are going to use that on-off of the rails to change the signal. So let's go over the wiring diagram. We're using a simple red-green 2-aspect signal. The red and green are hooked up to the outer rails. I want the straight alignment to show green, so I attach the green wire to the straight outer rail. I attach the red wire to the diverging outer rail. I then take the black common positive and connect it to both inner rails. This will allow whichever direction the turnout is thrown to complete the circuit on the LED. Now notice there is a resistor connected here. This resistor came attached to this. You must use a resistor with these circuits. This is a 1K resistor. If you do not use this one, you will likely blow the LEDs and cause a DCC system short circuit. One very important thing is that you must isolate these sections of track. If you have DCC power coming in from another location, this will not work. I recommend insulated unijoiners. This means that you will need to power the track beyond the turnout with its own feeder. Okay, let's hook everything up. Okay, I've hooked everything up. Now, if I did this correctly, when I power on the DCC system, it should light up when the DCC system powers on. Okay, so when I throw this turnout, the signal should change. And voila, it works. This will work whether the turnout is manually or remotely thrown too. So now I want to try to get a signal sent that tells us whether or not the turnout is thrown. We're going to use one of these super cheap little voltage sensors that will detect when voltage is applied to a circuit. All you need to do is put the voltage sensor on one of the LED wires in between the rail and the signal itself. I am putting this on the green LED so that it will send a signal when the turnout is aligned to the straight position, and that's it. Now I have 2 Arduino sketches here. The first one I will show you will simply tell me whether or not the sensor registers a change when I throw the turnout. Let's test it out. Okay, we can see that there is definitely some signal coming through, but we can see that it's a bit uneven with its reading. So I wrote another sketch that averages 10 sensor readings per second and gives me an average reading. Then it will tell me whether or not the turnout is set to straight or turnout. So now I have an Arduino that can read whether or not a turnout is thrown. This would not take much modification to add to my Arduino multi-block signal system where it could transmit that a turnout is not aligned to the main line. That's probably going to be a future project actually. There's a lot of potential for the system like this, and I'll be exploring it in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.